Alright, yan. Pag-usapan natin mga ganyang bagay because things are very, very interesting. Only in the Philippines. Ito talaga yung mga only in the Philippines. Yan. Mukhang legit tong picture na to na nanonood ng Formula 1 ang ating mahal na Pangulo. Very busy. Gumagawa na naman ng diplomacy. Nag-meet with Prime Minister Lee Hsien-loong kanina lang. At mga Singaporean leaders. Obviously, it's not the first time that we see our beloved president going to watch Formula 1. Formula 1. Yeah, gawin natin French. Formula 1. Yan. Formula 1. Grand Prix. Ay, medyo naging Algerian na yung accent ko. Yan ang problema na nag-French ako. Kaya nga nag-stop ako nag-French. Nag-ano na lang ako Nag-Espanyol na lang ako, sabi ko. Kasi daw yung accent natin naging Algerian, hindi na Parisian. Grand Prix. Okay, alright. So, now, in fairness naman kay Pangulong Marcos Jr., he had a very good speech at the Milken Institute. I saw, again, katulad ng pinag-usapan natin last week, I saw some very good commentaries by our good friends based in Singapore. They found the speech very fascinating, interesting, etc. But of course, alam natin na hindi lang pang Milken Institute, Asian Summit, International Affairs, but also, katulad ng last year, kailangan nang magpang-relax ang ating minamahal na Pangulo at pumunta siya dyan sa Formula 1 in Singapore. In fairness naman, hindi pumunta all the way sa Monaco. Yan, may tabi-tabi lang. Singapore lang. Ayan. Hanapin natin tong nasaan yung article ng Bilyonaryo. Yan. Ito yung article ng Bilyonaryo. Nag-blowout daw ang ating Pangulo. Birthday blowout. Yan. Pumunta ulit siya sa Singapore for Formula 1. Yan. Naka-Ferrari pa. Bakit Ferrari? Dapat ano naman? Di naman nanalong Ferrari ngayon. Nanalo ba? Sorry nakasa ako Dahil fan din ako ng Formula 1, yun lang. Hindi tayo pumunta sa Formula 1 sa mga birthdays natin. Sana naman, baka naman, balang araw. Yan, pag mag-presidential spokesman tayo. Ayan. Magagalit na naman sa akin yung mga kabila naman ngayon. Alam nyo mga kameta, ganito, kung legit ka talagang analyst, kung legit ka talagang public thinker, kung legit ka talaga may pagmamahal sa bayan, equal opportunity, you're gonna provide constructive critique. Kasi yun ang problema ko dun sa mga iba dyan, na vlogger, pa-intellectual, ganun. Wala Nag-ano lang kayo Di naman kayo independent Nag-ano lang kayo Nagpapander lang kayo sa audience nyo Audience capture. Wala akong pake. One day, I'll say something that may ruffle some feathers here. The next time I'm gonna say something, we're gonna ruffle feathers there. You know what? Because that's what we do. That's what we should do. Kung talagang gusto natin ng matinong, pagsusuri dun sa ating mga problema sa ating bayan. Now, ako naman, again, I try to be very fair. I mean, of course, on one hand, I welcome that, some of these bloggers na nagkakalat ng fake news in the past ay siguro namulat sa buhay at may mga pinagsasabi. But I'm gonna always take what they say with a grain of salt. So I have a question with some people who were just 1 year ago attacking these people as complete jokes and then now suddenly invoking them as possible legitimate whistleblower. Are you kidding me? No, seriously, are you kidding me? Is this a joke? Alright? Now at the same time, okay, I mean, fine. The president, they have their own resources, etc. So this is not a, confidential foundation, etc. Okay. Legit, okay, you have a birthday, you go there. I appreciate going out, making visits, etc. Now, obviously, yung naririnig natin explanation is, wag kayong mag-alala, okay naman to kasi productive naman yung meeting. May mga pledges na naman at kanina daw may meeting with Prime Minister Lee Hsien-loong, etc. Tapos na yung elections nila for the president sa Singapore, nanalo yung isang deputy prime minister. So things are going smoothly, fantastic, blah, 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 blah. Okay, again, but this is again, what let's look at the numbers. Because, katulad ng sinabi natin, okay, I like the fact that the president's going around and meeting world leaders and presenting a more respectable version of our country, hindi na tatay style geopolitics. I very much like the intervention by the president earlier this month actually dun sa ASEAN Summit. I appreciate that. So we're fair. At the same time, I still want to see the evidence that this commercial diplomacy is actually quite effective, because the claim is that these visits abroad are getting us investment. So the claim was 3.4 trillion pesos. So close to $80 billion yung pledges daw na nakuha natin dun sa first year na intensive international visits at commercial diplomacy ng ating Pangulo. I mean, again, I appreciate the effort. No? So this is the claim, 3.4 trillion. Right? Yun daw nakuha. Right? Oh, wag nang daw tayo magalit na nagfo-formula formula because at least may nakukuha investment. Ang problema ko naman is, simple lang naman eh. Ayon sa sarili natin, Bangko Sentral, ito po yung katotohanan, okay? Yung in-order mo sa Shopee, yung dumating. Alright? Ito po yung situation natin ngayon. Now, again, this is not to besmirch yung effort, because I think the efforts of the President are commendable. And I want him to continue doing that, and not only him, DTI, etc. But at the same time, we have to also look at the actual numbers. So ayon sa Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, actually bumaba by 34% yung year-on-year investments. Tingnan nyo, pababa yung trend line. So, we got $80 billion of pledges. In the same year that we got all of these pledges, actually FDI went down. Now, obviously, you can say, well, it takes time. Huwag tayo wag tayo expect kaagad, hindi naman, I mean, huwag tayo mag-advance mag-isip. I get it, but at the same time, sana naman, 'di ba? It's clear na meron tayong problema in a sense that mukhang yung commercial diplomacy natin is not yet translating into actual investments. Madali kumuha ng pledges. But in fairness naman, nag-upgrade naman daw from soft pledge to hard pledge since last year dahil sa ating Formula O diplomas. But come on guys, seriously, right? This is Bangko Sentral ng Philippines itself saying na bumababa yung investments actually over the past year. Of course, we're not happy because we want more investments to come in. And that's why I'm saying it's time for us to have a serious analysis and discussion about ano ba talaga yung mga factors na nagko-contribute dun sa FDI flows. Now, obviously, we can always blame short-term trends, I don't know, declining growth rates, concerns with inflation, etc. But the reality is that kung super effective talaga yung kasalukuyan ng commercial diplomacy natin, at the very least, we should see some flashes of brilliance here and there, right? And so far, we're not seeing that. Kaya nga sabi ko, as important as commercial diplomacy is, well, let's not overread into it. Let's not exaggerate and go hyperbolic about its benefits. Let's realistically look at yung mga bagay na kailangan natin gawin para maging mas attractive talaga ang Pilipinas sa foreign investors. Kasi mga foreign investors, hindi naman nabubudol yung mga yan na ano lang eh. Hindi naman sila nanonood lang isang TikTok video tapos naniwala sila maglagay na sila ng billion-billion. It doesn't work that way, my friends. Okay? It just doesn't work that way. Okay, mamaya na yan. We have to do more. We have to go back to basics. Kailangan talaga natin, we have to find out what are the things that are turning off foreign investors. Bakit bumababa yung FDI just as pledges are supposedly exploding and going through the roof? So clearly, something is kulang here. Whether kulang dun sa ginagawa ng mga ating mga departamento, kulang dun sa positive trajectory na gusto nila makita sa infrastruktura, kulang sa fiscal transparency. Hindi nila sure kung saan pumupunta yung pera ng siguro kaban ng bayan. Yung mga naririnig nila about confidential fund, baka na-turn off sila. We have to find that out. I mean, obviously, I know what are the answers, but I want to be fair here. What I want because my answers are based on my own interaction, because inihingi tayo ng advice ng, the biggest hedge funds and the leading people around the world, okay? Hindi naman tayo nagyayabang, but this is one of the things I do. I provide macro-political economic advisory to the biggest hedge funds sometimes. And, so I know where they're coming from and biggest industrial manufacturing group. So alam ko kung concern sila. But, again, just to be fair and not to impose my own views and sabihin dahil itong narinig ko, ito yung katotohanan, let's have a proper national discussion because clearly, yung Formula 1 diplomacy, alone is not gonna work, right? So, saan na yung mga Singapore investments na yan? And remember, by the way, a lot of investments that come into the Philippines via Singapore, they're actually from other countries passing through Singapore because Singapore is a hub, is a regional hub, right? So sometimes you have to distinguish: is this really an investment from Singapore-based companies, na Singaporean, or this is from foreign, European, I don't know, Japanese, whatever companies who have ASEAN-based companies and then they get diversified through the regional headquarters in Singapore. So medyo komplikado itong bagay na to, no? And we have to break it down. So for me, at the very least, kailangan natin ng talagang masinsinan na pagsusuri dito sa ating suliranin. I mean, this is our predicament. Bakit bumababa ang FDI sa Pilipinas, right? Why is the Philippines not getting the billions and billions of investments that it's supposed to get? And why napag-iwanan na tayo ng mga kapitbahay natin? Because if you're talking about declining growth, I mean, that's also being suffered by a lot of our neighbors. And yet, eto yon. So, I'll close on this note because I want to open on some more positive note. And ito actually yung article natin bukas sa Philippine Daily Inquirer because I'm calling on the President to have a new national economic strategy na hindi lang hanggang macro-prudential, hindi lang katulad ng mga sinasabi ng mga local economists is focused on inflation. Okay, inflation management is important. Growth is also important, but what we need is high-quality growth. What we need is to move up dun sa value chain of production. What we need is to bring in new high-quality investments. What I want to see from President Marcos Jr. is this. Etong gusto ko makita. Kasi yung mga Formula 1, Formula 1, mga ganyan, mag-meet ka ng mga Elon Musk. Mag-meet ka. I mean, I'm not a fan of Elon Musk. You can see, you go on Twitter, I've been bashing the guy right and left. Sobrang Karen na siya ngayon. Space Karen. But, he's still a very important man. He can still be a good source of investments and technology transfer to the Philippines. Hindi lang yung kumikita sa atin dahil dun sa kanyang mga SpaceX, yung mga internet. No. President Marcos Jr. has to do what Jokowi has been doing. Personally hosting and meeting the Elon Musks of this world. Big tech company guys. Go and meet them, sir. Arrange meetings with them. Either go to Silicon Valley. Well, wala na sa Silicon Valley. Punta ka sa Texas, right? That's where Elon Musk is. Or host them. Invite them to the Philippines. Have a meeting with them. This is what President Marcos should do. I know for a fact that President Marcos Jr. is more a math and science kind of guy than social science and history and economics kind of guy. So go and meet these guys. Medyo geeky naman yung presidente natin eh. Right? Okay, fine. For me, that's the more cool stuff. Go and visit the Tesla factory. No? Pag-usapan nyo kung pwede magkaroon ng battery production sa Philippines. Marami naman tayong mga lithium. We have I come from the Cordilleras. I know that in the Philippines we have a lot of, precious metals, right? And precious minerals, no? Na mahalaga doon sa mga next generation technologies, including production of EV batteries. Pag-usapan natin yan. Gawin dapat sana ni BBM ito. Makipag-meeting siya sa mga leaders na, assuming they want to lead. No, kaya naman yan eh. I mean, I know for a fact you can arrange these kinds of things. And I think Elon Musk wouldn't mind meeting also Marcos Jr., not only Jokowi. And I think they'll have a good time together, right? You know why? medyo may alt-right kasi yung si Elon Musk. No, I'm kidding. No, not kidding, half kidding. No, seriously, this is what we need. Okay, I'm into personal commercial development, but I want big tech, high-tech diplomacy. Yun ang dapat gawin ni Pangulong Marcos. Now, the Jokowi one is not so successful yet because nag-decide si Elon Musk yata to put some Tesla production in Thailand pa rin. But still, you have to sow the seeds of high-tech investments coming in. Speaking of the Philippines improving relations with allies, dapat sana ito rin mangyari sa atin. Si Biden pumunta pa sa Vietnam, hindi sa Pilipinas. Pilipinas na nga yung ally ng US. Pilipinas na nga mag-EDCA. Tayo pa nga magbigay na access sa military base sa kanila. And at the same time, ito nangyayari. Si Biden pumupunta sa Vietnam, hindi naman nila aliado. Tapos dadalhin pa niya yung mga big tech company executives sa Vietnam. Right? Yung mga Intel. Right? Yung mga Boeing companies for manufacturing. So, kaya nga napag-iwanan tayo ng mga kapitbahay natin because yung mga kapitbahay natin, they don't only have strategic defense diplomacy, they also have high-tech commercial diplomacy. This is what we need to do. Guys, Indonesia and Vietnam is not super ahead of the Philippines. And yet, these countries are talking, in the case of Indonesia, building their own Tesla factories, and in the case of Vietnam, building their own high-end semiconductor factories, right? And by the way, Vietnam already has its own EV industry, the VinFast industry, which last time I checked is still in the top 10 cars in the world based on market capitalization, although we have some issues about the smoke and mirrors issues there. But do you get what I'm saying? Like, again, there's no guarantee that this will work, that just because we host some high-tech executives, blah, 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 with some foreign leader, it will essentially translate into semiconductors investments. No, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that you meet mo si Elon Musk and Elon Musk is just gonna jump and... No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying at least dapat ganyan yung mga ginagawa ng ating Pangulo at saka mga leaders natin. This kind of personalized, high-stakes, high-tech diplomacy. Be like Jokowi, go and meet Elon Musk. Right? Be like Vietnam. When you host American leaders, also host many big tech American companies who really want to do manufacturing high-end investment in the Philippines. Hindi lang BPO. And as I mentioned, the problem I have with BPO, etc., is that these are not very... Well, AI could replace a lot of jobs there. And they're not up the value chain, to be honest about it. All right? They're not the highest of high-end services. And services in general are not going to create you the jobs that we need. So, yon. So, advice, yun po yung advice ko sa ating mga Pangulo. Alright? When foreign leaders come in, make sure they bring in the big companies along with themselves and meet them, talk to them, be like Jokowi, go and meet, I don't know, Elon Musk, something like that. Yung mga ganyan, gawin yung mga ganyan. Honestly, far more cool yan. Far more, I'm sure President BBM will enjoy being in Tesla factory for his next birthday or something like that. O alam niyo na saan galing yung suggestion na yan. Pag nangyari next year, biglang nasa Tesla factory si Bongbong Marcos. But, you know, I will respect that far more than honestly paulit-ulit na every dun sa mga formula. Tapos pledge. Hindi ako na, hindi ako na-impress sa mga pledge lang. Because I want to see actual numbers coming in. As far as actual numbers is concerned, BSP, very clear. Bangko Sentral, bumaba po ang FDI sa Pilipinas over the past year. And actually, nakaka-depress yan. Kaya matatawa kasi anong gagawin na iyak na naman tayo. But clearly, there has to be some adjustments here in the strategy by the administration. We have to do some legit stuff to get the ball rolling. Alright? Because otherwise, ang Pilipinas maging Pearl Harbor lang tayo ng mga big Western powers. This is where I kind of agree naman with the other side na huwag tayo puro military. Ito. Bumaba pa yung FDI over the past year. No? Ayan. Data mismo ng Bangko Sentral. So, clearly, I'm glad the President is enjoying himself and taking care of himself. Happy birthday, President Marcos Jr. But sana, i-level up na natin, ha? Level up na natin commercial diplomacy. Para sa bayan, salamat, thank you very much. Dito sa ating mga kaibigan on YouTube, shoutout dyan. Wiser is nicer. Okay, shoutout kita. Taga-saan ka naman? Bonjour, mademoiselle. Meron tayong mga kasama from... France, yan. Si Gaming Adventure YT, yan. Ano daw? Zoel Riola, yan. Original from Pangasinan. Salamat po. Thank you for joining us. Ayan, wala pa tayo dyan. 100%. Thank you very much for joining us. Alona Goles, Ma Victoria Baltazar, yan. Michael Caligo Haji Ali. Thank you very much for joining us. Yan. Fan daw si BBM sa Formula 1. Obvious ba? Right. Thank you also dito sa mga kameta natin, nagmamahal sa atin. Salamat kay Ma'am Jocelyn as always, kay Annabelle Gamoras, Tooth Gayop. Ayan, sabi niya, yung tiwala daw na foreign investors. Yung kasi mga foreign investors, hindi nadadala yan sa isang vlog lang ni Marlica or isang ano lang. Alam niyo na yan. Yung mga logo. Hindi mautak mga investors, mga kameta. Roger Talavera, thank you so much for joining us, sir. Jim Florence, Cora Iñez, Michelle Andrea, yan. Efren Bueza, akala ko Efren Bata Reyes, Oli, Ramil Tolin. Thank you very much. Okay, I have to go na. May mga trabaho tayo para sa bayan. Thank you very much again and talk to you guys soon. God bless.